everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of I Cast Fireball, an actual play 5e D&D adventure where we go through the campaign Tyranny of Dragons. I am Thomas, your DM for this adventure, and around the table we have...
Malamara.
Lanstalen.
And Fleeple.
So, last we left the Jhank Squad, they were going through a nice little frozen dungeon crawl, trying to decipher, investigate, find their way through this icy iceberg and find the dragon Arthator, but also find their other main objective, Maccath the Crimson. And after doing some sleuthing of what some of these engineering tools were down here, they actually found the entrance to an even deeper, more colder part of the iceberg that Fleeple, because we forget sometimes he can fly, he just flew down there and was investigating and seeing what was about. Now, I can't remember if I mentioned this last time, but because this iceberg is so close to the ocean and it's so cold, there is this fog that is rolling around at certain parts of the underground cave system here. And so Fleeple encountered that fog. With his dark vision, was only able to see a short distance away, but came back to report. And while they were discussing, after a random encounter roll, we had one kobold and a red tiefling stumble upon them. And as they sussed out that this was Maccath the Crimson, the kobold was just about to yell at the top of their lungs that there were intruders in the lair. And that is where we join our adventurers this week. Now, Fleeple.
That's me.
I believe you had something you wanted to try and do first.
Yes, Ralph has done something good for us for once. God dang it, Ralph. You gave me that ring of silence. I'm going to try and cast silence on this here kobold before he alerts this entire iceberg to the fact that we are here.
This is where I tip my hat to Josh for giving a magic item that he and I created that I never expected the group to get
Attain.
It's because Josh and I are
Ned
tight.
texted me and he goes, "Hey, I need the stats for that magic item." And I was like, "Yeah, you do." So, first and foremost, let's roll initiative. Got my fancy new dice tower I printed.
They are so cool. His dice towers are awesome.
Well, I gotta give a shout out to, not me, it's Cinderwing 3D who designed the dice tower. So if you're into 3D printing, go check them out, Cinderwing 3D. Anyway, I'll just tell you right now, my kobold got a 1 on the die.
Yes! Thank goodness.
So
Thank goodness.
let's go and get this all set up here with that in mind. And it's probably going to be a short exchange here, but maybe it won't.
You never know.
All right. Fleeple, what'd you get?
13.
Okay. Lance.
7.
And Mal.
A 6.
Whoa.
Our warm-up did not help
roll
us.
so bad.
We were not ready to play.
Okay, and Maccath got a 9.
Wow. Ned topped us out at 13.
Ned is the only one breaking with double digits here with a high
Ooh,
13.
baby.
So, Fleeple, here you go.
Yes. First things first, we're dropping a silence on this little garbage lizard here.
Garbage lizard.
Garbage. That's what you call your own kind. Garbage lizards.
So the way that this ring, if you recall, not only for our players here but listeners here, the ring of silence that we had crafted, me and Josh, for Ralph, this uses the silence spell, but it's more of a silence bubble in the fact of there's just like a thin layer of silence separating one side of the bubble from the other. So everybody inside the bubble can still communicate and still speaks with one another, but you can't hear anything on the outside of the bubble that's done on the inside of the bubble, and vice versa. So if you trap somebody in the bubble and there's a war going on outside, they might not be able to hear it due to the silence, but we still have the spell save DC due to the silence spell. Anyway, mini Crunch Squad, done.
Nice.
But this one does just go. It just expends one of your charges from the ring, or the earring, I believe we determined what it was. But it expends 1 charges, and so now there is this safety bubble, if you will, of silence to where each of you can still speak, and the kobold is breathing into shout that there are intruders, and Fleeple, you cleverly just activate that without anybody knowing. And it is that 30 feet. I believe it said it was 30 feet, right?
Silence. 20-foot radius sphere.
Yeah, 20-foot radius. So all of you, just barely, Malamara being on the other side of the gaping hole, the entrance into the deeper portion of the iceberg here, all of you are inside of this bubble. And it's interesting how, Mal, you're able to see this phenomena or hear this phenomena of there seems to be, as soon as Fleeple takes his turn, there is a bit of silence before you feel something like the noise wash over you. And it was only just for like a millisecond, but it's as if you could visually see it. It is just like this bubble. And then the sound finally coming back to your senses. I believe that was just your action, though, Fleeple. You still have your movement bonus if you'd like. You are directly next to this kobold and Maccath. The kobold is within 5 feet of you.
All right. I am going to just run into that kobold and try and, push him up against the wall, maybe? I don't know, try and just mess up his whatever he's doing. And I'm going to be looking at Maccath the Crimson and be like, some friends of yours sent us from down in Waterdeep. We're here to help.
Okay, cool. So you're just getting in the kobold's business and trying to convey this kind demeanor and being like, hey, we're here to help you, not him, and hopefully sway. Let's go ahead and have, I know it's an action technically, but let's have you roll some sort of a charisma check here with Maccath, since she just stumbled upon you.
Wait, is this silence a bubble around the kobold, or is it just the kobold? Sorry, I know we just explained that.
It's a 20-foot radius sphere.
So when you get up in the kobold's business, are you silenced?
So it only separates like everything within the bubble can hear everything that's in the bubble. Everything outside the bubble can hear everything that's outside the bubble, but it doesn't pass between.
Gotcha.
That's not normally how the silence spell works, but this is our homebrew item.
Homebrew item.
Thank you, Josh.
It's like the cone of silence from Get Smart.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, go ahead and roll some sort of a charisma check here. What would you like to roll with conveying this message to Maccath?
I would like to try and persuade.
All right, then roll a persuasion check.
We are here to be friendly. Do.
Give off some good vibes.
That's a 15.
Hey, okay, 15. You look at her and flash your smile over to her, and she takes it in, and she was, you might recall, she was quite alarmed when she first stumbled upon you, and that alarm is still there, but she's looking at you, Fleeple, and sees you getting in the kobold's business, and is like, okay. It's actually their turn, and Maccath is going to jump on the kobold and try to grapple it.
Yeah.
And just like kind of sees like the kobold sees you and goes, okay, and jumps on. They are a wizard, so they're not very strong. Ooh, I'll roll against the kobold here. Yeah, Maccath goes to grab, and the kobold sees her and holds up its spear and like tries to jab at her, and she goes, okay, all right. And the kobold goes, you would turn on me? I just fed you. I shared my fish with you. That's all Maccath is going to do right now, but not running away. Actually, no, Maccath at that point is going to, no, she can't, because that's an action. Anyway, that's all Maccath is going to do. So Mal, it's your turn.
What?
Oh wait, no, Lance. Lance, you got a 7. There you go, Lance.
Don't limit my 7. Taking inspiration, though, from bulky, hulky half-orc here, Lance feels something he's never felt in his life. Lance feels swole. He feels a little buff today because he actually took the athletic feature because we were going to crawl through an iceberg. So that was the skill I took as part of my little subclass thing I can do, and I'm going to try and grapple the kobold because I'm now proficient in athletics.
Well then, let's do an opposed check. You roll with athletics, and I will roll with acrobatics, because the dex for kobolds for strength is -2.
Well, I rolled terribly.
I know that feeling.
Ooh, what did you roll?
So, with my new proficiency, 7.
Jeez.
Well, I rolled a 4.
Oh my goodness.
I rolled a 2. So,
I rolled a 2.
hey!
Twins.
So, even though Lance is the most unswole person,
Right.
Lance got gains. So, he's ready to grapple.
So with your new gains, you run up and you're like, "Ah!" And then the kobold's like, "Ah!" And is unable to fend you off because you're just bigger. So you're a cheater in its eyes because it's not fair. But yeah, you have this kobold grappled sufficiently with your action. You have a bonus action and a movement, if you'd like.
I don't think I can do anything really with the bonus action or movement. I mean, I could throw him down the pit.
All right.
No.
The pit.
No, I'm just gonna hold, grapple him, and yeah, I'm just gonna be like, shut up. That's all I can do.
Okay. Now, Mickey, it's your turn.
Mal will take out her hand axes that she has and cautiously will round the side of this pit so that she's actually over where everybody else is. Cautiously
And if you
watching
recall,
from
one side of the pit was treacherous and possibly a trap. So you recall that from Fleeple. So you go around.
Mal backs
the
up 5
side.
feet and takes a running leap and jumps over. No, Mal will carefully cross the treacherous side, just looking behind us, making sure that the silent spell did work, that kobolds are not converging on us. And she'll just make her way around to this dog pile of humanoids on the ground.
Great. So that's really your movement. Action, bonus action. You just chilling.
Malamar reaches her hand out to summon Zaza from the void to help scout ahead from where they were coming from, and she feels nothing but empty air, and she cannot connect to that void anymore, and she remembers that she no longer has Zaza, and so she just slowly retracts her hand and waits.
Another reminder of what was given but has been taken away with your sacrifice. With that, we jump to the kobold, who is still being grappled by Lance and yells what they were yelling. Intruders! Intruders! Which is falling on just your ears because the silent spell holds up. It is going to try stabbing you, Lance, because grapple does not mean restrained, so it can still attack.
Can I restrain
with its spear?
How can I restrain?
Restrain, is it a feat you have to take? I think you have to take a feat.
Sorry, what's the question?
How do you go from a grapple to a restrain? And I think it's a feat you have to take, and then you perform essentially a second grapple check on a subsequent turn to then change the status from a grapple to a restrained.
Grappler. That's the name of the
That's what I
feat.
figured. Grappler. So it's going to try and stab you with its spear. Ooh. Does a 17 hit?
Not with my rock of protection circling around my head.
Yeah.
Oh man, you got two of you have rocks just.
And Fleeple has a glowing rune.
Yep, that still stays there.
We're very dramatic
Each of
to
you,
look at.
Always.
each of you are a sight to behold. They visually look at you and they're like, "Wow, there's some definite magic going on over there." Like
Surprise.
like actual magic. So with that 17, it is unsuccessful, and so that's the kobold's turn, and we can jump over to Fleeple at the top of the round.
I'm trying to think if I've got any spells I can use to just like straight up restrain him. I mean, the easiest thing to do would just be to knock him out with non-lethal damage.
Yep.
So, I mean, I guess I'm just going to pull up my moon sickle and try and slash him.
The first attack with the moon sickle.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's a critical fail.
Lance gets
Grappled!
Lance gets
All of
sliced
you
in the
are
throat.
so trepidatious, if is that the right word here? In this encounter, you're like, "Don't make any noise," and you're like fronting over, and so Fleeple, you're like,
I'm like, we don't have to worry about making noise. Just stab him. Just stab him.
Just stab it. And Lance is like, what? What are you talking about?
Do the stabby thing. You're the rogue. Just stab it.
And Mal just like the wave of depression that comes over her for an instant.
Mal's
and
just
Maccath
crying
is going
in the corner.
and Maccath is like, you're here to help me?
Yes, just stab him.
Just shaking this kobold. Yeah, we're totally here to help you.
We need to shut this guy up.
Anything else on your turn, Fleeple?
Oh, gosh. No, I feel very demoralized by that.
The first attack with the moon sickle. Critical fail. Okay. Jumping to Maccath. She's going to walk up to the kobold and she's going to shocking grasp it, or try to. Critical fail.
No.
Oh, my goodness.
She's like, are you sure? They could be here any second. Lightning just... And Lance, you're like, hey. And the kobold's like, ah! And jumps up and kicks her in the face. And she's like, oh. And so it goes wide. And so we jump to Lance. It's your turn.
All right. If we're straight up murder hoboing this kobold, here we go. All right. Lance will purposely let go.
Oh, I think non-lethal damage is what was spoken, not a murder.
I thought you're slashing him.
Not to Jake.
Not to the rogue.
This is all or
I mean,
nothing.
Maccath was obviously trying to murder this kobold. You can't do non-lethal damage.
Well, and I
with
assume
lightning
Maccath
damage.
can really tell us most of the information we need. So
That's
I am
true.
going to just push this kobold basically toward Fleeple, and now that we're flanking, I will straight up attack this thing.
So you're like, quick, Fleeple, get in front of this guy.
Yeah.
Get in front of this guy. Okay, come on.
Over here, great. All right. Attacking with advantage. That is going to hit with my short sword. That's going to be a 27 to hit.
Yeah.
And sneak attack. Prepare for annihilation. 35 points of damage.
What?
I rolled a lot of 6s and 5s.
So, there's
Yeah.
a lot of, just stab him, just get him. Don't worry about it. Just shut him up. And just like, and Mal crying in the corner. And Lance is like, all right, here's my gains. And your gains just come forth and destroy this kobold. You're out of combat. So, we're out of combat here.
Did you kill him or did you not do non-lethal? You ended up killing him?
Did I hear? I didn't hear the non-lethal, so I was going. I killed him. Kill shot. Boom.
Great.
Go with your heart.
Kill shot. That's my heart. Kill shot. I cut people's hands off. I cut kobolds' heads off. That's what I do. Except for Fleeple.
Wow.
I like
Yeah, and so Maccath is like, oh, wow, okay.
I'm sorry, we're usually much more coordinated and less bungling than that, I promise.
Well, that last action definitely spoke to your expertise, and so it's good to see. Good to see. We're not friends yet. Hello, I'm Maccath, and
Oh, we're
I'm,
friends. We're definitely friends.
The Crimson. Oh, you do seem like the friendly type here. Should we be worried about people hearing us or anything? You said not to worry, but
Yes, I got this sick ring from this elf dude who tried to screw us over, but actually he turned out to be helpful in the end. So don't worry
All right.
about it. Nobody can hear us right now.
is it a magic item?
Yes, I know this isn't usually how the silence spell works, but we homebrewed something a little bit.
Oh my goodness. No,
Well,
this
we
is actually
homebrewed
quite
it.
intriguing because I've theorized about different ways to manipulate spells to... I've been working on a few of my own spells, and Arthur Tor, well, of course, Arthur Tor wants to have their own spells as well, so I mean, this is quite intriguing. May I see it?
Sure. You know, we're friends.
Can I roll insight real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
This is like a random conversation to have about a magic item. Natural 20.
Have you ever spoken to somebody who hyperfixates on a thing
That's
that they're
very
incredibly
true. That's
passionate
very
about?
true. But I mean, we just like murdered a kobold, like
Like a
straight
D&D
up.
podcast.
I just think of like there's a skit with Will Ferrell on SNL where he has a pitchfork and he stabs somebody, but it just like for a minute just keeps. I felt like that was us with that kobold. So it's just weird to me that all of a sudden they're just super interested in this magic item that we're using. That's going to be 29 total. Like just something feels. I'll let you know my intention. That something feels off. Like they're almost wanting to use something. They don't necessarily want to be friends. Lance is suspicious that they're not wanting to talk, but wanting to get away almost, it seems.
Okay. Here's what you get with your 29, which is a lot. So if I don't answer any of your questions, feel free to ask them. Maccath perks up when magic is discussed. And just from your short interaction that you've already seen with her, and just from the conversation with the kobold and the attack with the kobold, Maccath is a little bit disjointed from their own emotion, if that makes sense. Like, it definitely seems that, like, emotions come second to them. There is an order, there's a time, there's a place, and there's almost like habitual patterns that they may follow or have, and magic seems to be one of them. You gain more insight by thinking back to the magic organization that sent you on this, and you remember how callous they were at times when they were speaking about Maccath, sorry. They were like, yeah, we haven't seen her in 3 years. If you could find her, that'd be great. Or like her notes. If you could find her notes, that would be awesome. And you're like, okay, so they're not like, they didn't send out their own adventuring party to rescue her, right? Like, it's been 3 years. And they just were like, well, we sent a scrying spell and we couldn't find her, so that could mean one thing or the other, and that's as far as we got. Maccath might be in the same vein here. And so when she talks about magic items, it's with Fleeple, her interest, this is where you see some true emotion from her of like, ooh, that's a cool thing. That's like actually really unique to spin a spell differently than what is on traditional books, and dangerous as well. And so she's like, ooh, this is really, really interesting, really cool. Her notes about Arathator wanting magic as well. There's something a little bit there as well, almost like when she talks about Arathator, it's with a little bit of fear, but also with a little bit of resignation as well. And the resignation is a bit surprising to you. What other questions do you have about Maccath?
What's her birthday?
Her blood type, her social security number.
She's a tiefling, so she doesn't believe in birthdays.
Very detached emotionally. It's very much the magic, the practice, I am here for information, and yeah, okay, good to know.
So we found a nerd, basically.
Where that detachment spawns from, you're not sure if it was just inherent in her, or maybe it's a result of the 3 years, or maybe something has happened here with Arathator, or is she here by her own will? There's still a lot to discuss and still a lot to discover. But from the 5 seconds that you incited her and you intuited all these things from her, you hand over the ring to Maccath, and she spins it over in her hands, and she mutters something under her breath, and you see a flash in her eyes as she looks at it. She goes, well, that is unique indeed. I would be fascinating, very fascinating. Not quite my realm of study, but something that would be really interesting to dig into. This is quite a treat that you have here, as she hands the ring back to you, Fleeple.
Yes, we could take you to meet the person who gave me this ring. We know where he is.
You just want Josh back in the podcast.
What? Why would I want that?
We actually have a sending stone right next to him.
She goes, well, no, I can't leave. So I'm afraid that's impossible.
What? Why is that impossible? We can take you with us.
We were sent here specifically to retrieve you, and let's go. That's what we got. We got to clear out here.
We also were told that you have information on the Dracorn.
Yes, I know of the Dracorn. Probably.
Do you know where that is at the moment?
It was here. It's not anymore. It's gone. It was taken by some dragons. Actually, no, I believe cultists. Yeah, cultists. Yeah, they're the ones that took the Dracorn. Arathator was ecstatic to be giving that magic item.
How long ago was that?
It was quite a while ago. Oh goodness, not years, but not days, for sure. But
you've been here for a long time, haven't you?
Yes, I believe it's been close to what is it? 2 years? 2 years?
3. I think it's more 3.
Oh, has it been 3? Oh well, I'd have to go count my my writings. Kept dates.
Lady Maccath, I'm sorry, I don't mean to rush it. We're kind of
That's
rushed
me.
on time as we are in the middle of Dragon's Lair. Like, we can get you out. We can get you out right now.
Oh, no, that's kind. I can't go.
Why?
And she says it so definitively, it takes you back. You're like, what? She goes, well, technically I'm a prisoner, and I will be killed if I try to leave.
But we can go.
Yeah, so I can't go.
That's what a rescue means.
Yes, let's look at it this way. Do you want to stay here, or do you want to go?
So she goes, well, if you had gotten to me 3 years ago, yes, I would have left immediately. But, I'm kind of in the middle of something, and it's like, really, and she like holds up her fingers, like, almost like she's pinching something, or like, she's like, I'm really close to some of the stuff that I'm working on. It's really like, if you ever get like a bug in your ear, and like, not a real bug.
Oh, well, I've had real bugs in my ears before.
Well, I mean, I have on occasion as well. But it's like a problem, and it's just keeps nagging at you and nagging at you. I better just show you. Why don't you follow me?
Oh, yes, I'm surprisingly good at Arcana these days.
Well, I see the rune. I mean, of course.
Oh, she gets it.
Yeah, storm giants, right? And she like gives you a high five.
Oh, yeah.
And she goes, now how did you come about that rune? Did you actually get a blessing from a storm giant?
Let's walk and talk.
Very
Let's walk
difficult.
and talk.
Storm
Let's
giants
go. Walk
are
and
like, I'm walking and talking. You're the one standing there.
Just come on, Lance.
So, as you walk through, let me go ahead and describe some of where she takes you.
Man, I'll level with you. I was super stressed at the beginning of this session, but this is chill. I love this.
No, it's all gonna hit the fan soon.
Oh, we'll be fine.
So she takes you down some of these hallways that she just had entered from with the kobold. One of them is an expansive room, which is just completely empty. Just totally empty, but clear of iceberg or snow. So it's just like, it could almost be like a standing room only room. Like it's just completely level, but completely empty. And she's just chatting on about some of the things that are the goings-ons. And she's definitely a rambler, if that's not apparent. But she keeps going. As you are walking to this area, you it's that coldness that you've been feeling as you delve deeper and deeper into the iceberg. It's not as cold. It's noticeably less cold the farther you walk away from that gaping hole down to the deeper portions of the iceberg. But in this area, there is still like this faint fog and mist that obscures your vision anywhere 45 feet from where you currently are at. Thankfully, Maccath seems to know where she's going, and so she's just chatting away. And she starts to take you up an incline as she goes further west, south some of it, and then west for another part of it. She is going to just be chatting away. Well, first off, if you want to steer her conversation, it's like a 5-minute walk. Is there anything in particular that you want to ask her in this conversation, or are you just going to let her ramble and just kind of see what she says?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, Arathator, is he a good boss? Do you enjoy working for Arathator?
No, he's brutal. I very much despise him. He's not my worst boss though. I will say that, but he is he will kill me.
Not my worst boss, but
That's not my worst boss,
But he will
kill me.
And you cannot.
Weekends are murder.
So, worked a side gig in Baldur's Gate for a while, and let me tell you, that was murder. Literally, as her eyes gloss over.
That's a one shot right there.
Yeah.
Speaking of murder, how would you feel if we just, killed the dragon?
Oh, well, I mean, that's the only way I'm really going to be able to leave. He has invested too much time to me being here and going over the magical writings and scripts. I mentioned previously, he's very interested in spells, and so you seeing one spell being altered is fascinating. And at this point, she's taking you up a ramp to going on the west side there, and she is... It's just kind of rambling on. And the temperature gets a little bit warmer and the fog dissipates. It seems like it settles. The lower the iceberg is towards the water, towards the sea, the more dense the fog is. And so she goes, yeah, so I mean, he's got these magic writings. He actually attacked our sanctuary for our brotherhood. I call it an everyone hood because, you know, not just brother. Anyway, that's a bit of a joke of mine. But he captured all these magical writings from like eons past, and so he's been asking me to try and like translate them, and I've been doing that for the past 3 years. And about this time, she rounds this bend and she goes, "I can show you some of them. They're just right past here." And as she rounds the bend, she just nonchalantly, there is a big troll standing at the top of the ramp, and she goes, "I could show you the right of it." "Oh, hey, Reginald." And she just walks right past the troll and is just speaking and talking. And the troll like looks at Maccath and looks at you three and goes, and I need everybody to roll initiative.
Thomas, come on. You didn't even let us look. Every room, I'm going to be like, nope, I'm rolling. I want to kill this wizard. Gosh dang it. Idiot.
Well, I want to kill Reginald because he's going to try and kill us.
I'm going to kill everybody. Dang it. Now this could sound the alarm. Oh my gosh. Thomas just really doesn't want us to be successful in this lair. He's like, dang it.
I've had a change of heart in the podcast. I just don't want you to succeed.
Yeah,
I
can tell
I
that.
want the Jhank Squad to just fail.
Ah, dang it. Did we like have to roll like for stealth or insight or something?
I was looking for it. Maccath, I said, is just so disconnected from their emotion, just so invested in academia that she wouldn't have thought about it.
You're telling us never trust you. Never trust you. That's what you're telling us.
I thought none of you trusted me at all, ever. The entire campaign.
We tried. We got together and we said, you know what, let's give Thomas, I think he wants to help us. Not.
Man, wait, you've been trusting Thomas this whole time?
You know, I thought I'd be nice, but I'm just going to, now my goal for the rest is to utterly ruin this campaign.
Utterly win.
Win.
We're taking the dragon side. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing now.
We're taking the dragon side.
Then there's a one-shot of another adventuring party coming up to rescue the Jhank Squad.
Boy. So there's a big troll and 2 kobolds.
Mm-hmm. The kobolds currently are not engaged. They're kind of just lounging, so they might take them around to realize what's going on.
Dang it, we got out of a jam. Now we're in a bigger jam.
Fleeple, what did you get?
I got a 12.
12. Lance.
24.
24.
That's the rogue
And
initiative
Mal.
24.
There you go. Mal?
11.
11. Okay. Well, as this happens, Maccath is 15 feet past the ice troll, and the ice troll looks at each of you and goes, Lance, you're able to react pretty quickly here. I'll move each of you a little bit closer to combat, just being like, oh, we're following Maccath, so the troll is within 15 feet. Depending on where you ended up in the order of you walking, it could even be within 10 feet. This troll is, it's long. It's got really long, almost abnormally long limbs and like boils on its shoulder, but it has just got blue skin. Its teeth are long, jagged, and just gross, and it's like breathing this mist as it looks at each of you, and it's just a gross creature. But yeah, it's your go, Lance.
Okay, no one's within 5 feet of it. Great. Okay. So no sneak attacks happening this round.
Don't you worry, I'll take care of the troll. You take care of the kobolds.
That's true. If the kobolds aren't aware of us, this could be a surprise attack on them.
Oh, wait, that's right, because the fog, they can't see us anyway. We're too far away.
So there isn't fog in here, but
Dang
you are
it, the
correct.
one room where we need there to be fog.
But you are correct, Lance. It's a surprise round, so I'll say that they don't know you, and I don't know if the rules allow this, but you could roll advantage if you're going to be attacking the kobolds because they are just not aware of you right now.
Okay. I'm going to then pull out... If I hear Fleeple say, if you were serious, Ned, I've got the troll.
I've got the troll.
I've got the troll. Okay. I'm going to run up within 80 feet of one of the kobolds, take out my short bow, and fire.
All right. Sounds good.
With advantage, thank you.
You said 80 feet?
Yeah, within 80 feet.
Oh, within 80 feet. I was like, you run 80 feet?
I can, technically, but...
So 80 feet, you can actually be right by Mal and Fleeple still and just...
Oh, okay. Sweet. Then I will be there, and I'm going to... Let me double check something. Okay, sweet. I'm going to fire my bow. I rolled with advantage. That's going to be with the bow 16 to hit.
Oh, that's a hit.
Good. All right. Thank heavens. All right.
Sneak attack.
Sneak attack. Damage. 24 damage.
Okay. The kobold is instantly destroyed.
Good. Then with
the kobold's
my...
like, oh, what a lovely... And just...
Hey, I think that's
They
a
go to
nice
sleep.
way. You know
They go
what?
to sleep.
Didn't even know something was happening. Didn't even probably feel it. Just having a good day. Good way to go. I'm going to do... With that, on a successful sneak attack, I'm going to target a creature within 30 feet of the first creature, the other kobold, and I'm rolling half the sneak attack dice, rounded up for that to feel it. So I rolled 5.
Okay. So the other
3
one's like,
sneak attack.
what did you say, Clarice?
Clarice. Clarice.
Go ahead
All
and
right.
roll.
That's going to be 9 damage.
And at that, you see this ghostly specter just pop up behind the kobold. And as they ask the question, what's that, Clarice? The kobold just shuts his eyes, puts down what it has, and lays down, never to get up again.
Both kobolds out?
Yep.
There you go. Sweet. And adding a little narrative flair to it, I just realized also, as Lance is like, yes, and he like kind of like reaches back to like kind of sheathe maybe the bow, he feels a new object in his pocket. All of a sudden, he has this weird, feels like a stone, and he kind of like logs that in the back of his mind, like, okay, that wasn't there before. Check that later.
Ooh,
Yes.
roguey things.
Roguey
things.
Meanwhile, on the fugue plane, Clarice and Edward here are just like, wait a second, how'd we get here?
Like, oh, I was in the middle of transcription. Oh, well.
All right, that is my turn. And actually, I'll do movement if I can. Ooh, this is dangerous, but I'm gonna try and help my friends out. I'm gonna move to the back of the troll so that someone could possibly gain flanking advantage.
That is great, Lance. What a great turn. What a fantastic turn as you run around the ice troll. The ice troll is looking down at you, looking at Maccath, and Maccath like looks back and goes, "Oh, yeah, I forgot. That's on me. That's my bad. I'm very sorry. This is very. All right, yes, Reginald, I'm very sorry. We're gonna have. Yeah, I wish we. Fleeple, it's your turn.
Yeah, it's time to bring back my old friend Polymorph.
All right, what kind of a roll is that?
That is going to be a wisdom saving throw, I believe. Yep, that's going to be a wisdom saving throw DC 17.
All right. He got a 2.
Yay! All right, and I rush forward and grab the little critter in my hands. You see, Lance Thalen, this troll turns into a pygmy 3-toed sloth, and I just reach out and clutch it in my hands as it falls. And I kind of hold the sloth by the scruff of its neck, and I mean, I've got like a little sack or something in my bag that I can put it in.
Interesting question. If we take the sloth, put him in the bag of holding, what happens?
Eventually, the sloth suffocates and turns into an ice troll.
But then the ice troll would just suffocate, right?
Yeah.
Because
That's
there's no
absolutely
way for
true.
it to get out.
Oh my goodness.
So we'll just
But
have
there
like...
is a weight limit to the bag of
that's
holding,
true.
isn't it?
This troll's probably like freaking 10 tons.
Bag of holding 5e weight limit? Question mark. 500 pounds.
Oh, yeah, it's all going to come bursting out if we throw him in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to wrap the sloth in some of those ropes that I got from the Red Wizard down in the creepy death hallway. And after I've wrapped it up all, swaddled it nice and tight, I'm going to take one of, like, the bracelets that I got from the Red Wizard and just, like, stick it around its neck like a collar.
Okay. Sounds good.
We have a pet for an hour.
Great. So you have an hour. You have an hour with the sloth.
Yeah, as long as I maintain concentration, so just gotta make sure I don't get hurt.
Great. Well, we're out of combat.
Perfect.
Mal, leaving Fleeple to wrap up his new sloth pet, will go forward and pick up both of these kobold bodies and bring it back over here. Right behind us is kind of this alcove in the ice, and she's just going to tuck them back in there. Just in case anybody happens to come along the hallway, they won't just find these kobold bodies.
Yes. Mal, as you're doing this, you just think to yourself about the loss of Zaza and the things that you used to rely on. You used to rely on... It's so habitual to rely on these powers, your Eldritch Blasts, what have you, and how are you going to get around this? How are you going to deal with it? Can you be a contributing member to the party? Lance and Fleeple have told you can, but how can you?
I don't know. I haven't used my weapons yet this whole time.
That's true.
There you go, right?
I keep rolling parable initiative.
My gut reaction would be to turn to Mal and be like, you're contributing, when Lance and I just ended the combat before she even got a chance to do anything.
Twice.
Oh, man.
Twice. Oh, man. But it just causes you to think a little bit more about, like, okay, like, when the time comes, you can and you will be there. Lance and Fleeple are just on their A game right now. And at this time, Maccath goes, I'm really sorry about that. I was so anxious to show you what I've been working on. I really haven't anybody to talk to other than kobolds. And friend, I know that you are a different type of kobold here, but it's just, I'm sorry about that. I'll try to be more aware moving forward.
It's all right. We'll just let Lance go ahead of us. He's good at all of the sneaky, observy sort of things.
I could tell. And I saw some sort of magic with you as well. I mean, I saw a bit of yellow and like ghostly apparitions. I mean, very impressive there. Very impressive. And it looks at you, Amal, and goes, I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see what you have as well.
Mal wipes the kobold blood from her karas and just walks past her.
I'm sorry, Mickey. That was. Oh man.
Oh, that's an inspiration to Thomas, I think.
That was so good. Yeah.
Slam dunk.
Lance is also just going to glare at this dumb wizard. Very powerful, probably, but dumb wizard, and will kind of move ahead a little bit to, as Fleeple suggested, to scout a little bit ahead. And also, when he gets a chance, he's going to feel what the crap is in his pocket.
Well, as you look into your pocket, what do you see, Lance?
So, yeah, Lance reaches in, and this was a feature that I got when we last leveled up, but I've never been able to use it yet. He reaches into his pocket, and he pulls out, it looks like this, like, tiny shard, a single shard, and it is actually reminiscent of something interesting. I'm gonna do a callback because it says like kind of like the trinket is kind of up in the air of what you choose, and it's a shard of. It looks like, from everything that Lance can connect it to, it looks like a shard of the mirror way long ago. That Lance, I mean, not that long ago, because our timeline's all
In the
weird,
creepy
but
death hallway.
in the creepy death hallway, that Lance tried to bash it, that he saw his sister in, but also Mondath came out of. And he's looking at this, it's just this little shard of something, and he's just looking at it, and all of a sudden, he's like turning it, being like, what? And he can kind of see himself, but then all of a sudden he sees a flash of the kobold, not these two, but the one we killed back in the hallway. And he just sees that kobold in there, like just glaring at him, and he kind of like is very startled. And it is a new feature that I have called Token of the Departed. that when a creature within 30 feet dies, a trinket forms. And I can have the number up to my proficiency, and there's a number of things I could possibly do with this trinket, which we can get into later. But that's what he sees. He sees someone he's killed in this little shard of glass.
That flavor is phenomenal. I love that so much.
That's pretty good. That's pretty darn good. I like that a lot.
I mean, I'll take inspiration if you...
Now, I was going to say, if I was the cool DM running this campaign, I would give your inspiration.
I'm just joking.
Well, inspiration.
No, I'm not taking that. I'm not
taking inspiration.
No, I'm not
Take
taking
it,
that. I'm
listeners.
not
Bully
taking
your
inspiration
DM, it
that I
works.
asked for.
Bully your DM! That's the name of this episode.
Bully your DM.
Bully your DM.
Thomas, we don't trust you at all. Come on. We weren't trusting you at all the entire campaign.
It's literally...
Give me inspiration.
It's literally just playing into like... You like it, DM? You wanna give me something? I made you happy, right?
Oh gosh. Well, fine. No inspiration then.
Well, good, because I actually had marked that I already have inspiration from somewhere else.
I figured as much.
All right.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's so good. Okay, so you go to scout off into
Yes.
this other room, right? Okay, so, and this other room I should describe. The room that you currently are in, let me first describe this room. It was kind of hard to see because of the ice troll. They have a cave troll. So, this empty ice floor of this chamber holds a most unexpected sight. A large shelter is seemingly built of scraps and in the style of the tents used by the desert nomads of Kalimshan, some 2,000 miles to the south. You assume this is where Maccath's background comes into play, as that's really the only structure in here, but there is a hallway going north off of this chamber, and Lance, that's where you want to go investigate, correct?
Yes.
I will have you roll a stealth check then.
With advantage. That is going to be a 30. And I'm also checking for traps, because I've learned now.
Okay. Well then, go ahead and roll an investigation check, sir.
It sounds like you don't trust Thomas.
Yep, I've learned.
Give me inspiration.
Bully your DM and never trust them.
Never forget.
Never forget. Investigation, that's going to be a 31.
Okay.
I'm rolling very high tonight.
Okay.
I rolled a 19, and I have that double on investigation.
I'm going to call this room the scriptorium that you're coming into. Reason why I'm going to be calling it is because as you walk in, there are 3 shelves that stand in this otherwise empty cavern, cobbled together out of salvaged wood, whalebone, pieces of giant's armor, and even the frozen limbs of yetis. A number of scrolls, books, parchments, and folios are carefully arranged on the shelves, all bearing the markings of magical writing. Now, in addition to this is on the east side of the chamber. On the west side of the chamber, you feel that same coldness that you felt back in the chamber when you first met Maccath, when you went down into the depths of the iceberg. That same coldness is emanating from a gaping hole on the west side, and in fact there is fog billowing up, almost like it's trying to enter into this chamber, and half of this chamber is filled with that fog before the heat of the previous room dissipates it. Yeah, those are the things that you see in this room. No traps that you can tell.
All right.
At that, Maccath turns to turns to Mal and Fleeple and goes, yes, please come in. Again, terribly sorry. Come into my abode here, I guess you can call it, where I've been living, where I've been working. It's down here. Where did your other friend go? Did he sneak up? Oh, I hope he didn't go and sneak off there. That would be, well, as long as he doesn't read any of the magic. He might do. Would he read? Can he read?
Wow.
He can read pretty well. Hey, Lance, how's it going up there?
Lance appears next to them. It's going fine. Stealth.
Oh, right. All right, cool. Yeah, I just recommend going north there. A lot of cool things. That's where I get a lot of the items that Arthator has stolen to study. you could go crazy if you try and read some of those things. As she like sort of sing-songy, like rocks her head back and forth, like, don't want to go reading just anything up there. Orthator ate a few other previous magic people who read one or two too many books and were either possessed by like demons or had like just went mad, or their souls were ripped from their bodies, things like that. So just don't go perusing everything.
Been there, done that.
she like kind of comes over you, slaps your shoulder. I'm sure you have. But yes,
no
please
idea.
come into my tent. No, I don't. Let's go into my tent here. And as you walk into her tent, her abode, the interior of the shelter is surprisingly warm thanks to a small stove and simple lamps burning aromatic whale oil. Carpets are heaped on the floor in thick layers, and tapestries from every culture in Faerun hang suspended from a sturdy frame of whale ribs. Books and scrolls are stacked neatly on tables and reading stands made of hide and whalebone. The only furnishings in this shelter not made from these natural materials are the carpets and tapestries and a portable writing desk that appears to have been taken from a sailing ship. So, you can also see the symbol of the Arcane Brotherhood on a cloak that Maccath had doffed. She wasn't wearing, but she dons now. And she goes, yeah, well, this is pretty much it. So, we still doing good on that sloth there? Impressive bit of magic there for a cleric. I assume you're a cleric.
I'm a druid, actually. A lot of people get that confused.
Oh, yeah, I apologize, yeah. But yeah, if we're good, we can sit and I can answer some questions if you'd like, or we can figure out a way to go about rescuing me, right?
Yes. So as far as like reasons that we have showed up here on this terrible iceberg, a couple of different things. One, sort of our main deal is we're trying to stop Tiamat from getting released from the Nine Hells, and apparently the Cult of the Dragon is using the Drakhorn to do that, so we're going to need to figure out where the Drakhorn is, wherever Orthator sent it off to with those cultists.
Yes. I didn't get a chance to study the Drakhorn, which is, as she closes her eyes and shakes her head frustratedly, she goes, which is very unfortunate. One of my big reasons for coming up here to study the Drakhorn, and taken from this area, but no matter.
Well, hey, stick with us and we can help you find it so you can study it.
I mean, that sounds like a great idea after I finish some of these other projects, but with these questions, I think it's best I put a pot on for us all to kind of talk things out with a cup of tea.
Well, I mean, we don't have too much time.
She points to each of you.
We have like an hour for the slothy thing to not become a slothy thing. So I don't know if we have time for tea.
She goes, there's always time for tea.
No,
and as she walks off to the fire, she sets like a pot on the fire, and all three of you are, some of you just being like, yeah, this is just kind of looking around and enjoying your time, or just trying to think about how to get out of the situation. That is where we're going to end this week's episode of iCast Fireball.
With tea.
Look at how chill this has been.
Time to
Chill
spill
episodes
the
throughout.
tea.
Chill episode ending out.
Spill the tea. There's always time for tea.
It's time for tea. Well, players, Ned, Jacob, Mickey, thank you so much for joining this week. Even though you don't trust me, you berate me, and you bully me into giving you inspiration. I appreciate you for joining us along this ride. And listeners, thank you for following us while they bully, berate, and show their mistrust towards me as well. If you like that they bully, berate, and mistreat the
Yeah, that really struck a nerve.
shoot us leave a 5-star review on the podcatcher of your choice about your favorite moment where one of those things happened. Or if you want to leave multiple moments that really stuck out to you, you can shoot an email at icastfireball2020@gmail.com where you can itemize all of the moments that really stick out to you where those moments occurred. Or you can, of course, go to our social media pages on YouTube. I almost said Wikipedia. We don't have a Wikipedia page.
I can change that.
Wikipedia, Instagram,
Patreon,
Facebook at icastfireball20, where you can maybe start a group, start a thread, whatever the kids are doing these days, and you can get the word out there as well. Speaking of getting the word out there, we're going to shout out our sister podcast, Improv Tabletop, where Ned, he takes a moment to shine in the light as the GM, where his players, they get to go through fun mini 1-month adventures using the Fate Accelerated system. Also, Avatar Legends, if you like Avatar Last Airbender or Korra, go check those out. And lastly, the Blades in the Dark campaign, and not so secret anymore, the mix that they've got currently in their current campaign of Blades in the Dark and Avatar Legends, where they go jump back and forth. It's fun. You get a little flavor of both. So go give them a check. Go check them out, and don't forget to leave them a 5-star review on the way out. Lastly, a new thing for iCast Fireball. We have a Patreon. We've got 3 tiers for iCast Fireball. You all can go check out. They are, I feel, reasonable tiers to jump in to help support the content that we're making over here, to help us, to help encourage us and make us able to where we can make additional content, and to start interacting with fans directly on a more real-time basis in our Discord server that we've got going on. So go check out that Patreon. Go see if those tiers can work out for you. And if you sign up for one of the tiers, you can join us in our Discord servers, where we can answer some burning questions or just shoot the breeze and make it so chill, just like this episode. So go shoot that out. The link to our Patreon will be in the description below, or you can just Google iCast Fireball Patreon. Lastly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and fellow wacky adventurers. But until next time, I'm Thomas, your DM, and around the table we have
Malamara,
Lance Thalen,
And Fleeple.
Let's keep that fire going, everybody, and we'll see you all next time.